Yo, bartender.
Bar's closed.
Hey, yo, bartender, what's good, man? Let me get a drink, man. Let me get a shot.
Hey, man, I know you just pulled up to the bar, but we closed.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man, I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to her. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's all right. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna get you one drink, because it look like you need
one drink. I can do one drink. I can do one drink, because I really, yeah.
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things we're going to brought to you by is Camo Dumpsters. This is a company that's going to be doing great things even in Atlanta, but right now we're up in Tennessee. One of the things I can tell you is we are the second largest landfill. We will probably be the number one by the time it's all over with. I can speak it into existence because of the things I know I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take over Tennessee, and then I'm going to try to take over the rest of the world just like I do everything else. I work with some of the best, and I think they know who all they are. Yeah. And all I can tell you is I'm going to make this one better, okay? So I'm coming for all the ones. The only thing I can tell you is how I start is not how I'm going to finish. Please understand. Come check us out at Camo.
Yeah.
Now, I got to get back to this person been rocking over 6 years with me, and I'm telling you, every time he come into this bad boy, he got a smile. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Man, I'm lovely, bro. Everything's good, man.
Man, still got that smile, man.
Everything's good, man. You know,
Tell me about it.
You know, ain't no reason to be sad, bro.
I mean, you
know,
life we got a conflict, so, you know.
But, you know, listen, there's always going to be things that are challenging, getting in the way, but that ain't the whole path, you know what I mean? That's just little things and stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. I imagine it's bigger for younger folk, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they got their life ahead of them, they haven't been through the major problems yet, they don't really know themselves, you know? But for us, man, life is gravy, man, you know? I mean, life is just... I mean, come on. How can you be? Here's the caveat. The caveat is that I work hard.
Okay.
And so when you work hard, you don't need problems. You work hard. You take care of your business. What causes problems a lot of times is people on the outside.
Right.
Pulling at you.
Yeah.
You know, expecting stuff for you, wanting you to do something for them, wanting you to be something. But in your own little world. You go hard, you get your work done, you eat your favorite meals, you get your little rest, you plan your vacation, you go see your family, you call your mom, you call your cousin. Life is simple. It's not difficult, right? If you're working hard. But if you ain't working hard, it can get quite challenging, you know, because the ends ain't coming together. And when the ends ain't coming together, you don't eat right. And when you don't eat right, you eat the wrong stuff. And when you eat the wrong stuff, you blow up. And when you blow up, you lose your self-esteem. And when you lose your self-esteem, you lose your personal power. You see?
All right, I hear you.
Does that make sense?
Hey, if that's what keep you happy, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
Basically, but I heard you don't eat ramen noodles. You eat steak, you eat good.
Yeah, they get you through college. But if you grown, eat ramen noodles. Well, I tell you what.
you got make some change in your life.
Yeah. So how you doing tonight, Smooth Jack?
Man, let me tell you, man, I've been challenged through all the things I've been through, but I promise you, man, I see so much light at the end of that tunnel.
Ooh, bruh.
Tell me about it. It makes me smile for things indirect that's in front of me.
Yeah.
The indirect.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people are looking for the direct. That light gives me drive.
Yes.
But the indirect is seeing how many people we impact, how many people I see still follow us, I see people still adding to us. The value that I see that we're putting on the world, I see the impact that I'm making, and that right there just gives me a sense of pride. Mm-hmm. And that right there gets me a happier smile than anything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sitting here right now doing this with y'all, and I'm able to see my daughter sit across from me.
Right.
Normally, I get comments from my phone, like, she watches my show, she supports me. You know, both of them.
Right.
But, you know, I'm able to see her sit across from me, knowing she been through her hells, her ups, her downs, and she can look at me and she smile and I smile, and I'll be like, man, protege. Glad she looked good.
Yeah. Exactly right. A great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes,
my name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a fabulous dialogue.
Let's do this.
Check this out.
Uh-oh.
Would you support the idea of marriage licenses expiring like driver's license, giving the couple the option to renew them? We're talking about temporary marriages in this show. I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing.
No.
But let's all get an understanding of what it might look like, because the reality is you can put any kind of contractual relationship you want together with your significant other.
I think we're going to need prayer on this one.
You know? I mean, if you ask the Lord for 3 years, then you ought to just be able to work 3 years. Contractual, right?
You know, if you don't work out, you're fine.
Yeah, that's all right. You know what I'm saying? But if you leave early, you lose everything. They're gonna put a brace in your neck if you leave early. So we want you folks to enjoy this show. This is about nurturing, and this is about wisdom, and this is about understanding life, and it's about understanding your decisions. And so if you're seeking love and you're seeking marriage and you're seeking a lifetime relationship, this conversation is going to add a tremendous amount of value to your understanding of it, and perhaps to your overall interpretation of it, because I think this is good. This is good, right? Temporary marriages is an outstanding conversation to have.
It is. I don't think we're going to be liked at the end of this show.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So we thank you folks for being here with us tonight. We always start the show off with a prayer. And so let's just, you want to pray tonight?
Oh, no, not over this. Oh, no, sir. Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make it a simple prayer about
I don't think you can make this simple when we start. I'm sorry.
Lord, help us.
Go in there. You got more than that.
All right. Let's hand it over to the Lord. Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for your peace and your grace and your love and your power upon our lives. We see you at work, and we believe in you. We trust you. We give you all of our life to do your good and perfect work. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would anoint us to understand marriages tonight, to understand the relationship of marriage. Put some new ideas and some new understandings in our head about what you would expect in a relationship of marriage, and about how to pursue a marriage and how to deal with it and how to understand it. We want this conversation to be led completely by you. And so we ask for your wisdom, your intelligence, your gifts of the Spirit to come into this room tonight and deliver a powerful message. We are listening, we are here, and we are ready to receive. We thank you, Lord, for being here. Put your perfect work in order. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Woo, I feel that one.
Yeah, because I probably need to hear some stuff about this, because this might be right down my alley. Right?
What? Hey, Crab got one that he wanted?
Well, here go what I'm thinking, Jay.
What you thinking,
before we just jump right in.
Oh, no problem.
Is that if I have the opportunity to be married successfully 3 times, then I can plan 5 years for each wife. So I can go 5-year wife, 5-year off, 5-year wife, 5 years off, right? And it could be the same woman.
Oh, you just go fire and rehire.
No. We have extended vacations from each other. Absence make the heart grow fonder. Right?
You gonna get shot. You gonna get shot. Man, I need you, buddy.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I can't wait till we jump in. Other than that, man, we got a few minutes here to chop it up. What's going on in your life, man? What you want to talk about tonight, Jay? Anything important we need to cover?
I can tell you right now, what's important to me is, I had so many problems at work. And I really like to say, a lot of times things is not planned out properly. And one of the things I can tell you is when you enter something and everything is against you, please stop looking at what's against you and understand what you've been through. I've been through so much that what's in front of me is easy compared to what I've been through. He drove me to a point that I am more powerful than the problems I have in front of me. And I have to remember that. Then I got to know who all I support. And then the people that support me helps drive me.
Yeah.
So when they give me all this opposition, thinking that, you came in here and you ain't going to be able to do this, I got more power in me than you ever know. You too busy stuck on you, and I'm past you.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you don't understand and you don't stay on this train, you will be left by this train.
Yeah.
We are on a gravy train right now to take over a lot of things, and a lot of people give me opposition and give me mouth. And I promise you, they don't see the bigger picture.
And what do you do with them, Jay? What do you do with naysayers and haters and negative people
I'm gonna tell you,
who can't see the vision?
Either you're gonna get on this team, or you're gonna be a fan of what I'm about to do. That's no different from my company and to my radio show. If you don't like it, then you can just watch it, or you can be a part of it. But the bottom line, you gotta figure it out, because I'm already in motion, and everybody ain't gonna be for me, and everybody can't fit. And it's simple, because I don't need everybody. But if you don't want to watch it, it's up to you. But I'm going to give you something along this way. Because, again, we've been gifted to give out something. I feel like it's something that I've been anointed to do. So if you don't care for it, that's you. My whole thing is I got to get it out for me. It's my mental health.
Yes.
If I don't feel like I'm complete. But a lot of people want to be happy with somebody else. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about me. And if I don't get it out, I'm not going to be complete. So how I'm going to be happy in life? And that's the sad thing to me, because I hear more people tell me what I need to be doing, and they ain't doing a damn thing.
Yeah, man. You know, I watched an interview with Chris Brown, and he's got a new album out. I'm in love with the album, so I went and checked out his interview, late model interview, and he said things like,
What do you say?
I have something to accomplish.
Okay.
If I sit around trying to address everybody else's likes and dislikes and concerns and wants and needs and all that, I ain't gonna get done what I need to get done. Right?
Man,
so
too hard.
yeah, and so it's good to listen to people, especially when you have an audience to satisfy, and we all have an audience to satisfy in one form or another. You know, satisfy your audience, you know, but you can only be who you are. You cannot be what the world wants you to be.
Be the best one you can be.
Be the best you that you can be. And, you know, I guess the simple truth of that is that you can only be the best you that you can be if you get rid of what everybody else is saying about you. It cannot make a difference to you. It cannot change your direction. It cannot slow you down. It cannot halt your path. It cannot make you mad. It cannot upset you. It's got to be like water running off a duck's back.
Okay.
Right? You cannot pay attention. Listen, I'm going to tell you, this is very profound, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but in every person's life, there's going to come a time where you think differently than the people in your circle. And in that very moment, you have to separate yourself. Even if you stay in the clique, you got to separate yourself, and you say, hey, I'm bigger than that. I'm better than that. Hey, you know, that ain't my thing. If that's for them, that's for them. But at a certain point in life, you're all going to have to separate yourself. That is, individuality is going to have to kick in.
Right.
You know, and if it doesn't kick in, you're going to find yourself living the life that everybody else wants you to live, or you're not going to live life at all. You've never seen a person who have achieved greatness or any type of success believing in the rest of the world. They believed in them. They bet on them.
Right.
I put my money on me. Right? And everybody else always has something to say. You know, you're not going to make it. That will never work. You're taking too much time with that. You know, you're wasting your time. Like, greatness comes out of those scenarios. People tell you you're wasting your time, and you're actually making history.
Yes.
And I believe in making history. And so stand alone in the gap of individuality, because it can produce and it can take you to your greatest truth in life. And that's not easy. You know, it's not easy to stand, you know, to go against the people you love. It's not easy to tell somebody no. It's not easy to push back on people that might be pushing on you.
Right.
But sometimes you have to do it. What else can we say?
Hey man, I think nothing else need to be said on that.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Sometimes you have to do it. How we looking, boo? Yeah, sometimes you have to do it because it is the only way that you can set your own individualized boundaries. And without those boundaries, people walk all over you.
That's true.
Right? And sometimes without those boundaries, you're never going to get the best out of you.
Now, I tell
You
you,
know what I mean?
it's hard because sometimes you listen to rhetoric that'll take you off course. And you got to figure out what's your course, and then you'll start understanding how people will affect you that you don't need to allow you to be affected. They're important people that they have their own goals, and their goals could be against yours. But my whole thing is to understand your purpose, and that way it can be a line where I can finish mine. If you don't get to yours, that's you.
That's you.
Because I got to finish.
Yeah.
And I like to say a lot of times they don't always want to just take you off. They just feel like theirs is so much more important. So I got to show them how important mine is by getting mine done.
Yeah.
And why they still sitting on theirs.
Yeah.
And, you know, still hearing about their ideas. And that's the sad thing to me. And if I go back and I get a lot of friends that I had in my past, they still talk about things they want to do.
They still talking about. They've been talking about it for years.
I know,
right? That's the separation. You separated yourself.
Had no choice.
While you talking about it, I'm gonna go over here and start getting it done.
And as it gets done, they ask me, "Well, dang, why you not me?"
Yeah,
because the choices had to be made.
Yeah, and it was more. It was just as much as it was action. It was even more simply choice. I made the choice. I made the choice that I don't want to be average. I don't want to be regular. I don't want to be status quo. I want to be better. And I've heard a lot of celebrities. I've been doing a lot of interviews. I've been listening to a lot of interviews. I've been hearing a lot of celebrities say, average is not acceptable here. In this camp, we do not accept status quo average. I'm talking about boxers and actors and doctors and athletes. We don't accept average. Everybody is saying that I only accept being a winner. But yet, everybody's losing. Right?
Okay,
right?
Say how you feel.
Well, what's happening is the mentality's staying where it's supposed to stay.
Okay.
Right? We know that 99 people are going to lose out of 100. Right? But everybody's got the winning mentality. And that's what you need to be in the upper 10%, the top echelon. You got to have the mentality that I'm going to be the best. Right. And so it's time for us to take our break. And I want you folks to stay tuned. We got a lot more to share. And I hope you're enjoying it. We'll get right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
All right, welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
You've been right there. Man, you feel it. You letting them know how you really feel. I like that, Graham. I like that.
A little bit. You know, sometimes you got to charge yourself up.
You did, man.
You know? And,
you was on overload.
Yeah.
Something was going on you. Well, you was just Peter rolling folks. I was like, oh, Graham.
You know, I believe in speaking my reality, man.
Hey, man, you did that.
Yeah.
I like it.
So let's cover this subject tonight. And we're going to take our time with this one, Jay.
I'm going to try.
Would you support the idea of marriage licenses expiring like driver's licenses, giving the couple the option to renew them? How do you feel about that, Jay?
Number one hater. Yes, I like it.
Yes. Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Now let me get in and listen, because don't hit my DM with the craziness.
Jay
But listen.
a temporary marriage.
Driver license has a 5-year thing for a reason.
Okay.
Because you can lose your abilities and then you don't qualify to drive no more.
Okay.
Marriage is failing right now because we are not renewing. We should look at what we're doing. And a lot of times we are getting reckless because of position and a title and understanding it is a privilege. And you need to realize it can be taken from you. So every 5 years we need to reevaluate what you're doing. I know you ain't liking it, but get over it, because in 5 years, we need to look at what you've been doing.
You think it should be 5 years?
5 years. Driver license 5, we might as well keep it 5. 5 alive. Let's do
that's too damn long.
It could be. We can do 3.
Hey, listen.
How about your driver license got conditions? You got the conditions
it depends on how much you pay for it, you know? If you pay a little bit, you get a little bit. Hey.
Oh, Graham said I'm going to pay for a year.
I'm not paying for everything. We're going to split that.
No.
I paid my $500 for the first year, so it's $1,000 a year, right?
Well, I ain't got to be a whole thing. It's your book.
No, because you know when you
These
invest,
are thieves.
depending on how much you invest, depending on how much you
Man,
invest.
that's how much the ring is. I'm talking about. Oh,
Oh,
and
no.
then the rings
You
are
don't
making
need no
this.
ring.
Oh, no ring.
No, these gonna be courthouse rings.
Oh, okay.
They gonna
okay.
have the courthouse logo on the back of them, right?
So depending on how much you
Yeah.
pay,
Well,
you ain't gonna get no bling bling.
Well, I think it's gonna operate kind of like probation officers. You know what I'm saying? You have
gotta
to
report,
You
too?
got to report. Yeah.
Oh, we go.
You gotta
we so
report.
fired.
Listen, you can't wait till the expiration date to try to fix a broken relationship. You got to have some check-in points, and so every 3 months you go down and you see the marriage probation officer, and y'all talk about how to keep your relationship healthy. See, this is a good idea, right?
It's like counseling.
It's
like counseling.
It's accountability in the relationship
Yeah.
for us to take care of the relationship.
Right.
How many relationships go and they never get the nurture?
Right.
They don't have any checkpoints. They don't have a point where somebody third party can come in and say, "Hey, man, husband, you messing up.
Right.
You ain't doing what most husbands do. You kind of messing up. Or wife, you ain't following the game like most wives. There's no checkpoints. So a temporary marriage would give you checkpoints so that you could work on the stuff as you got toward the end, the expiration days, right?
Okay.
And so, it just gives you an opportunity for
I
counseling.
like this because I like that coming in and it's like probation because nobody like probation.
Nobody
like to be
like-
told what to do.
Yeah, nobody.
But we
likes
all
to
need
check
to
in,
understand sooner or later we need to have some counseling in what we do to enhance a relationship.
Right.
So I like it. Now I really like your different fees. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes it more affordable.
Well, yeah. Baby, we can't afford 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's
5
go
years
get
is
us
a good-
one.
yeah.
And then I work.
We'll move it up.
Yeah.
You get one, I get one,
Listen.
and then we'll keep on renewing until we get our money up,
Yeah.
and then we go ahead and do a 5
There you
if we
go.
get to that
See,
point.
we're going to go and get one, and then I'm going to get a better job. And then the next time we come out, we might get 3 years.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And
We
if
just
you
start
don't have
something.
a job, we can always go back to 1
Yeah.
year, and we can keep it within a budget.
But listen, baby, no matter what the paperwork say,
Right.
me and you going to be together.
That's right. Right. But
We
the
gonna be
paperwork just
together.
helps because we got to go down for counseling
Yeah.
every so often.
Isn't that beautiful?
Man, I tell you what, no one even thought about this. This is first on Bar Talk with Jay. Yeah, we
This
patented
is
this.
a marriage with built-in counseling.
Yes.
It's a marriage with built-in support.
Thank you.
You can't beat that.
Yes.
Listen, 55% of all marriages are failing.
Right.
Now, I would imagine the government is saying, "Hey, that's great because now we get we get all these assets and we get some taxes and we
Right.
get the people in the court system now they
And
paying
lawyers, all these fees.
Divorce is a business,
It is.
right?
But
And-
we might have to interrupt that business.
Well, we might can add, what we'll do is it's called taxation up front rather than back.
Taxation for representation.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff is this?
I
we trying to change the game.
I love the idea
I like
of a
it too.
marriage with an expiration date.
Right.
Now, what is that really saying? I'm just thinking to myself, what is that really saying? That's saying you're forced to be together until this particular date.
Correct.
And so now let's all think of the process of something that we're forced to deal with, right? We get married.
Mm-hmm.
6 months, we realize this is some bullshit. Right?
Right. It ain't working out for you.
And what is it that you have to realize that you're not happy in that relationship? You have to realize that this person doesn't give a shit about me.
Okay.
They're not trying to be a team player.
Okay.
They don't have enough maturity to try to handle the business of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, get a better job, get more education.
Okay.
Let's buy a bigger house. Maybe we can buy a smarter car.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even in the game.
Right.
They're just, I got to lead them and carry them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe they got money problems. They spend too much money. They're not mature about it.
Mm-hmm.
It could be all kinds of things. People, they don't know how to communicate.
Right.
That's another reason. So, at least if you had a relationship going in the wrong direction in 6 months, you'll have some checkpoints that you should be able to try to start to fix the relationship. Mm-hmm. I like the checkpoints. You see, I already done took them as assumed that that's a part of the process now.
Okay.
Right? But if you got the 6 months and you realize this person was full of it and you had no levels of time accountability, You may quit right then. Right? Listen, something has to inspire change in an unhappy relationship. Something has to inspire change in a relationship going south. If nothing sparks change, it's dead. It's dead in the water. You cannot go into you can't go into a business relationship just hoping the shit's gonna make it.
Right.
You gotta see that the people who you put in place to get things done are getting the things done. If they're not getting the things done, the relationship is not working.
Right.
And if it's not working, you have to say, this is good, this is bad, I'm in, I'm out. Let's stop with the gray area. The gray area is what's causing the stress levels to be high and people dying. It's causing heart attacks. It's probably causing aneurysms. You know what I mean? Because think about it. Think about this, folks. And we know that this is happening. People are in relationships, lifetime relationships that are going nowhere.
Correct.
They have their entire life committed to a relationship of nothingness. Do you know how much stress and pain and anxiety and frustration and how much self-doubt and how difficult being in a relationship that's going nowhere can be? You gotta look somebody in the eyes who you just might have disdain for.
Right.
Who you just might can't stand anymore because they said this, they did that, they're not helping, they Right. But whatever those reasons are, they're real. And so it could be killing people. Bad relationship could be increasing the number of deaths. It could be increasing the amount of sickness in the world. We're talking about people who are in relationships for years and years and years. And the very reason they're in the relationship, which is for love, they get none. Right?
It's sad, but it's so unfortunate. It's very true.
It's very true, and it's very real. And so,
let's put a little bit of reflection with this new marriage that we're talking about in that reflection, because I feel like this is gonna be a good one, right?
Okay.
Now you're in a relationship, or you're in a marriage. Okay, your relationship got to a point you get one of our marriage license. Okay. Now you got our endorsement and paper on your phone, whatever you need, we got it. Now, it holds that person accountable to know you got to get renewed. See, you can't just treat somebody bad and then feel like it's going to be forever because that's what was written.
That's good.
When now you already know within that year, up to 5 years that you signed up for, you're going to have to answer to those 5 years. So now, it ain't going to be forever that he got to put up with your ass.
Right.
Now, you might have to check somebody.
Right.
And like Kraft was saying, we might need to take a break. After this, we might need to take a while and we need to renew this.
But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in these relationships, Jay.
I'm listening.
People are going to learn how to bite their lip. And they gonna be like, okay, 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 all right, oh, that's how you, okay, that's how we get it, okay. And on the day of, you gonna bring the renewal papers,
right,
or you gonna want to meet down at the courthouse,
right,
and they ain't gonna be there,
right.
Right. They're gonna play the game until the very end,
right?
Because maybe they might notice that you a sleight of hand kind of person. Or you gonna try to put me together so that I'm at a disadvantage by the end of this deadline.
Right.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play my card.
And
I'm gonna take some extra money and be putting it off on the side. I'm gonna make sure that I'm ready. Because at the end of this 1 year program, the end of this 3 year program, I'm out. I'll play all the game you want. I bake your mama a cake for a birthday.
But think about it. In saying that alone, in them 3 years, I still got plenty of time to live my happier life compared to my unfulfilled life.
Yes.
Because I like to say sometimes people feel like it's a ball and chain.
Yeah.
You should be free to be the best you. She should bring the best out of you. But sometimes you just get involved with somebody and it's not what you thought it was.
Okay, and see, and I might get in trouble for this too, Jay.
I don't know, but go for it.
It goes like this, right?
I got your back.
So if two people
right.
love one another,
total.
Why do you need paperwork? Why can't you just love each other until you don't love each other no more? And then when you don't love each other no more, you sit down, you have a good discussion, you break up all the shit in the middle, like good people do, you know, and you just go your separate ways.
Right. It's called contractual agreement.
So now I don't need the man telling me what to do. Right? And if you ever believe that you're going to get into that situation, what's the answer? What do we call it when you get the agreement before? Prenuptial agreement.
Prenup, and I like to say that's
prenuptial.
Yeah. Also contractual agreement.
Contractual.
You can do that. That's
exactly,
a business term. I like
exactly
to say the LGBTQRST, all other
NLP. Yep.
Yeah, all of them. They did it now. Where you can do contractual things.
Yeah, and listen, they go have the marriage, but it doesn't say what marriages typically say.
Right. Exactly.
Right, you know, it says that, okay, if I'm not happy here, I can say I want the hell out, and I immediately get 40% of all the assets or whatever. You know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that a love relationship has to come down to fighting for the assets.
It is,
you know,
because that's not what it was really designed for, but it's also designed to make sure if something happened in death, that person was taken care of.
That somebody's going to take care of.
But everybody knows.
Yeah.
You got life insurance now. You got things that you can do to make sure to insure people.
Yeah,
I like to say everybody thought about, the wills, but I like to tell you one better is a trust. Because, again, you got probate court when it comes to wills, and trust can roll things over a little easier. And again, I'm trying to make sure you see all these different options.
Yeah.
I hate to see that you get into something and you feel like you isolated and it can't be no more.
Yeah.
I feel like that's hell in itself.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be? I'm just thinking way out of the box here, folks. You know, I'm still a Christ man, and I still believe in the world's way sometimes.
Yeah, just say what you gotta say.
But wouldn't it be nice that in 20 years of life, we can look back and we can say, you know what? I had 5 wonderful marriages. I had 3 wonderful marriages. I had 3 wonderful people in my life, and I'm glad I had them, and I'm glad I got rid of them. Right? That's the notion, right? Listen, if marriages are moving toward contracts, that's exactly what it's saying.
Yeah,
it's saying that, hey, I know that most of these relationships are not going to be lifetime relationships, so let's go ahead and set up some paperwork so nobody gets hurt in the end. But we're gonna go in and we just gonna let things, you know, manifest how they manifest. Right? We're not gonna try to keep this thing together, because I already put an option in the beginning that if I wasn't happy, I could get out.
Correct.
That's what's actually taking place in the world. And so, if
it's almost like tag renewal. Like my tag renewal comes up before my birthday, like a whole month before.
Right.
So it just lets you know your marriage is about to expire. So you need to make sure you did these things.
But I promise you, an unhappy person, they got that date.
Yeah, they are though.
Yeah, they got it right. Tattooed on their forearms, right? Listen, interesting dialogue, man. Listen, we got one final segment, and we hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
All right, welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
And welcome back.
Man, exciting. Boy, I tell you, going on this one, man. I think this is about the most exciting show I've seen you get so excited for. Man, I ain't never seen you get happy over license that only lasts a year.
Well, I like relationships that don't have to go a lifetime, because I don't know if you're going to be the right one to go a lifetime with. Right? We can't tell who these people are that we meeting. You know, they can show a good representative for a year or two and then turn into something else. So we got to just be mindful, man. I'm so conscious because I'm not going to say I made a mistake. I did not make a mistake. My ex-wife was my soulmate. I still love her to death. Okay. She doesn't know that to this day. But I
think she just found out.
I do still love her to death. But you know, man, I'm not interested in going through that process again.
So you like this new license?
Yeah, I like the license. I like it. If she and I would have had a license, we might have stayed together to the term, And then we could have had a fair agreement at the end.
And then you could have walked away for a couple years to renew yourself and go back and pick it back up.
There it is. But probably what's going to happen for most people, Jay, is if they're unhappy in their relationship, they probably going to go ahead and find somebody special, old buddy, until from now until the expiration date. And then they probably think they're going to start dating that person or committing to that person. Mm-hmm. But if I was that person, I would be like, well, I ain't gonna marry you because you ain't gonna start dating somebody else.
You ain't gonna fire me in 4 years, 5 years, 3 years.
You know?
You starting to get a reputation.
So,
I
mean, what can you say, man? You know, there's a lot of pain in all of these broken relationships. This just gives people an opportunity. You know what else might be good? Here's an idea for you. What if there was a probationary period before you get married?
I think that should be in that whole contractual agreement, man. I'm telling you, we gonna start something new.
But I'm trying to go even from a different angle, right? Because
let's go for it.
Okay, I just have a feeling that like a lot of women would say, you know, I got a keeper, I got a good one, and just because it ain't going right don't mean I want to lose my keeper. You know what I'm saying? I'm being well taken care of.
Okay.
And so just because I'm being well taken care of don't mean I have to be enslaved by somebody. You know what I mean?
Sounds some sugar daddy stuff. Keep going.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's what it sounds like to me, but keep going.
That's exactly right, you know, but...
Tell me more about this probation thing, you know.
So the probation is basically you get married for a year.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the year, you come back to some type of assessment. It could be one person who you all have a dialogue with. Mm-hmm. Maybe you bring your relationship back before a marriage panel. And the marriage panel are like people who've been married for years.
Okay.
And they listen to your stories and listen to you know, how the relationship went for the year. They assess it, you know. And, you know, if month 3, you know, you had to go get a hotel room because y'all had an argument that night, that's going to come up in the you know, at the end of the year's assessment. Or, you know, month 4, you know, he blew some money he shouldn't have supposed to, and that's going to come up in the assessment.
Right.
And so maybe you'll get an opportunity to have some people to help you assess whether you should or shouldn't continue the relationship.
Okay.
They can't tell you what to do,
right.
But you get a third party look at it. Not like a best friend or a mama who are vested. You get some people who, you know what, y'all don't seem like y'all really getting along. It seems like you're arguing more than you ever got along. You really don't have a vision together. You don't even, you know, you bought a dog and one of you like him and one of you don't.
The dog done bit him.
Yeah, the dog done bit somebody, right? But that you know, preliminary period might give people a chance at a long-term healthy relationship. The challenge here is that we're all going into these lifetime relationships, and none of us have ever had a lifetime relationship with anyone or anything. Period. Right? We don't know what a lifetime relationship looks like. And so we enter these relationships not understanding what is required to maintain them. It requires all of the self. You have to get rid of most of who you are and what you want to love and to be in a lifetime relationship with this other person. And that can be taxing on an individual.
It can be.
And so we got to find a way to soften the blow a little bit. Give people an opportunity to long for one another, and give people an opportunity to fight for one another. You know, don't let the relationship because people who fail in relationships, they're failing out of ignorance. They don't know how to fix it.
Okay.
Their feelings are in the way. Maybe, you know, mama's in the way. Maybe, you know, the career is in the way. But you know, it needs to be fixed. You know?
I like this because traditional has been broken. It's been broken for a very long time. So this right now is showing us a new way of looking at it. It's a new time, new era. And I like to say this right here shows us a new. Where you get into a marriage now and you already know within a time frame you have to get renewed again. So now it holds you to be more accountable in your actions because now it ain't forever. So now you can't just drag a person through the mud. This person has an opportunity to put you in front of a panel, let alone not renew your behind. So now you got to stay vested.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we don't want to see all failures.
Yeah.
I like to say in 10 years, I could have got rid of you in 2, but I kept you because I love you. And I seen you through all of this. And we just keep renewing. And then we started off with the 1 year. We went to 3 years. Then we went to 5 years because we kept seeing each other long term. I see a future where I don't want to see it happening or ending. But when you ain't right and you using this to ploy somebody to you, to use them like a sugar daddy, he just going to take care of me for the rest of my life and you ain't putting nothing in. He has a resource to get out.
Yeah. You know what, Jay? When we think about a temporary marriage from a counseling scenario, from a development scenario, it's a way to strengthen long-term relationships, right? Not just hold accountable, but it causes you, when you have a timeline, it causes you to be proactive. Now there's this period of time where you've got to make some things happen. You know, if at the end of the year the counselors say, how did you show and prove your love to your significant other? What steps did you take to really show your significant other that you love them, right? And if you haven't taken any, you know, in the probationary period, I'm telling you, man, you got to show them that you love them. You know what I'm saying? You got to take her on a trip. Why don't you make up the bed sometime? Why don't you do the laundry once upon a time? Why don't you, update her ring? Why don't you take her to a nice restaurant? Do you know that in the last 6 months you've done nothing for your wife? And who you say you love this person, but you've done nothing. So what's in your head is not actually hitting the ground running, right? You say you love her, but you're not making it happen. Now you got a third party who can see it and help them with it.
I agree. I agree. You know? Just like driver license for me, I got CDLs. So every 2 years, I have to go get evaluated. Right. Keep my CDLs current. So I already know every 2 years, I have to go do this health assessment. I got to go to DOT and make sure I pass. And what I like about it is to keep my license going. All right? And I really feel like that's where the failure comes in because you have to care for your health. And it's one of the things that we get so lackadaisy with that you don't always think about that. Yeah. And now it's in front of you. Yeah. So now I know on this date I have to do certain things. I got to make sure my blood pressure good. I got to make sure my eyesight. So I wear glasses. So I want to make sure my glasses is up to par. For I can pass this. For I can continue doing what I do. All right. It's the same thing when it comes to me, a long-term relationship. You have to be committed to it.
You know what, Jay? I have a notion.
What you got?
That if temporary marriages were possible, nobody would be getting married.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think it would deteriorate the institution of marriage.
You know, something was deteriorating in these divorces that's going on right now.
Yeah, but
it is breaking it down. But my whole thing is, if a person really wants to see themselves married, and we give them this 1 year to a 5 year, these options.
I like 3.
Okay,
years.
We'll do 3.
Yeah, 3 years.
These 3 years, it just lets you know every 3 years we got to come to a point where we have to look at it. You see, forever means we just bound.
Yeah.
Okay? And that don't mean you got to treat a person right. That means that no matter what, this is what it is. Our whole thing is to make it where you will assess, to make it more incredible love compared to a drug out hell.
You causing people to consider the relationship all the way through the relationship.
And it would, I think it can enhance. I mean, I know what you're saying. It might not, but people might not want to get married anyway.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen. If we allow temporary marriages over a period of time, there's going to be more people who have been temporarily married than permanently married. And I think the ratios are going to start to move where people say, hey, I don't need to do what you're doing.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and get this temporary program because I was able to get out from the bed. People are going to have success stories with temporary marriages.
Yeah.
And ultimately, after you've been married, like me, I was married for 10 years. After you've been married, you might not have an interest in ever get married again.
Right.
But so even a temporary marriage ain't going to be interesting to me.
It might not, but guess what? When you had to learn how to drive, you had a temporary permit.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to get in there and handle some things.
Yeah.
Okay?
But listen, I ain't ever got to worry about the street spending too much of my money. I ain't never worried about that stop sign, cheating on me. I ain't never worried. You know what I'm saying? We drive.
It's gonna cheat you out some money. They catch you.
It's a different scenario.
It is, but it's still a license.
Yeah. It's still a license.
And it gets you to a point where you can get the other one.
And I think maybe even they ought to do time served. You know how
I ain't see that one coming. I'm sorry.
If you're successful for 3 years, you get a rewards point or something. You know what I'm saying? They be like, okay, now you've been married 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And that might give you a tax break. That might give you any number of things. You know what I'm saying? But
okay.
Time served is time served. Right?
I mean, when I hear time served in prison, I mean, that does not sound good. You went a whole 3 years.
It don't sound good.
It don't sound good at all. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work.
But listen, most people who are married will tell you it's kind of like time served. It's kind of like time served, right, Jay? Right? They'll tell you that.
They do. I have.
We've been together for 15
long
years.
time.
Yeah. 15 years.
And they'd always say it was the best 15
12 or
years.
13 too long.
Just hold on.
Yeah, we're just entertaining some options in an effort to hopefully cut down the number of failed relationships.
Which is high.
I truly believe that relationships fail because people are unaware of what it really takes to be in a relationship. It's no different than, people don't know what it takes to raise a child. And then they ultimately will learn that, hey, if we're going to have another child, we're going to have to be financially, you have to have the milk, we got to have a place to stay, you know what I'm saying? We can't be moving around.
The first one is a learning point.
Yeah, and so people just are unaware of the reality and the nature of a long-term relationship. And I'll be honest with you, a long-term relationship is not as pretty and as bountifully beautiful as we think it is.
I agree.
Right? But you do have two people who can come to a point where they can agree to disagree. And because ultimately, if two people are left alone for long enough, they're going to disagree. Yes. And how they manage the disagreement is going to determine the length and the longevity of the relationship. Right? What makes relationships work is that I can continue to have disagreements and we can continue to move forward. We'll find some things that we match on, but ultimately it's that the things that we don't agree upon or the things that we're different in doesn't hinder us from still relating to one another. Mm-hmm. That's ultimately what this equation is about.
I agree.
We can get through our disagreements. We can get through the things that we don't like about each other.
And I also say a lot of times when we get failure right now today is based off of love is conditional, and people are looking for conditions, and that's what they love is based off of because of social media and the rest. Yeah. So now that you look at this person, he makes you happy and he does this for you. All these are conditions, okay? But when you really want to be in a marriage, it's called unconditional love. It is the one that gets me past my mistakes and all the things that's going to happen because we're not going to always get along. But I need you to love me in that same manner that you did when we started. And that's not what it is when you came in paying for everything and doing everything because you show that you are better than the last man I had. So now I have a condition that I want you to continue. And now my love is conditioned on what you do. And the minute you can't, now all of a sudden I don't need you because I don't see you the same. You're not that dude no more.
Yeah, conditional love does not work. And that's what, I have to say this. I have to kind of convict myself here in the conversation that a temporary marriage license kind of sounds good, but it's going to cheapen the marriage. It's going to cheapen the relationship because it's going to become conditional. If you don't act right, I'm gone. If you don't do what I say do, I'm gone.
Okay.
If I don't like the way you're doing this, I'm gone. And a real marriage forces you to stay there regardless.
Okay.
Right? It forces you to stay there and deal with the problems rather than always running from your problems. And here's what would happen in a temporary relationship. We say, oh, I got this problem. Okay, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm just going to put it on the shelf, and then I'm going to give it back to the courts in 2.5 years. I'm going to put it on the shelf, and then I'm going to just throw it in the garbage in the next year as soon as my expiration comes up. Nobody's going to want to fight through relationships anymore. You know what I mean? So I think it would cheapen and hurt love. It would hurt love overall, And so, listen, it's been a great discussion.
Man, I think we had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, we did. We did. We laughed with it. So let's just close this out like we do.
Oh, yeah.
This has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And of course, we want to thank you folks for being here tonight. Yes. We appreciate you. We love you. And we're here every Thursday from 7 to 8, Facebook Live. Yes. Come back. We're on every major platform, by the way. Yes. Share, like, subscribe. Send all your friends and family, and continue to come back and join us. We're 6 years in, headed down the path of completing 7 years, and we're still bringing these fire-ass dialogues. So continue to love us and appreciate us, and we're going to continue to do our thing for you.
Yes.
We love you. We appreciate you. And we are out.
Ain't no last